Right now at 10, a case of measles is confirmed on UW-Madison's campus. What we know about the patient and how you can keep your family safe.
And Jefferson High School officials investigate. We'll speak with the mother of a victim whose picture was used to create inappropriate images.
And a new report finds sextortion cases are on the rise. What parents can do to protect their kids from online threats. That's all coming up on News 3 Now at 10. Good evening, and thanks for joining us, everyone. I'm Sarah Carlson.
And I'm Eric Franke. Tonight we continue our coverage of measles as it has now made its way to Dane County, the first case of the year.
Our Armand Rahman tells us who got sick and what you need to know to protect yourself and your loved ones from this highly contagious illness.
Highly contagious, which causes health officials to be highly cautious. They've already directly notified 4,000 people who may have been exposed to the infected UW-Madison student who is recovering tonight after getting care. Health officials say the student is recovering and lives in an off-campus apartment. They've released a list of exposure locations around the campus area. If you aren't vaccinated and were in one of these locations recently, they recommend quarantining and watching for any symptoms. If you do experience symptoms, call your doctor and public health before going to the doctor's office to avoid spreading as much as possible.
So the incubation can go through 21 days. So basically what we're saying is that after that date of exposure, then you would have to quarantine, watch for symptoms for 2 weeks after that. So it's like a full through day 21 is what we say.
Right now, officials don't know if the student was fully vaccinated against measles or not.
You can always look at the Wisconsin Immunization Registry and you can check your immunization status there, or you can check with your healthcare provider.
Campus officials say they don't require students submit proof of vaccines.
But we do know with a high level of confidence we have a highly vaccinated population. We estimate, based on our own data, that about 95% of our campus is vaccinated against measles, which is a good place to be.
Community health officials say the same, but use child vaccination rates because adults are not all entered in the immunization registry.
We have over 95% vaccination rates for MMR in our school age population. So again, just as Jake mentioned, we likely have the same reflection in our community of high vaccination rates.
Now, health officials say this case is not connected to the case reported in Waukesha County a week ago.
Armand, thank you. Now to the weather. We got some sunshine. The temperature's warmed up a bit. Alex, how long will this nicer weather stick around?
Get ready. It's going to stick around for a while, pretty much all the way through the 10-day. I promised last week, once we made that incremental degree by degree improvement up to this weekend, that we'd have some mighty fine temperatures in the forecast, and that's what we've got in our forecast. Although Tuesday, 20, a bit on the cold side. Wednesday, 23, a bit on the cold side, but there are probably a lot of people on the other side of the camera saying, okay, that's nothing compared to what we were just experiencing in southern Wisconsin. And we got a lot of 30s in the forecast. Tonight, fairly close to normal, low temperatures between 5 and 10 degrees. Some areas towards the Wisconsin-Illinois border just a little bit warmer, and that's because we're expecting some clouds that we're having out there right now and a couple snow showers to help hold those temperatures up just a little bit by the time we get to 6 o'clock tomorrow morning. And then as we head towards the noon hour, those clouds are out of here. So blue skies return as we go on into Tuesday. It'll be a nice day with temperatures getting into the 20 to 25 degree range, getting closer to that normal high temperature of 28 for this time of year. Now, we do have a little bit of snow from Cuba City over to Darlington, over towards the Shullsburg area. Some of this may not be making it to the ground because we have some dry air in place. But taking just a little wider look, this is very few and far between, just a couple of flurries near the Wisconsin-Illinois border tonight. But could we have a little bit more snow in the forecast as temperatures warm up? I'll let you know when I come back in a little while.
Okay, thank you, Alex. In other news, we're learning more tonight about the allegations of inappropriate use of artificial intelligence at Jefferson High School. Brittany Sorensen says her daughter had to miss school after she saw a public folder with inappropriate photos of herself and other students. The photos were made with AI and without consent.
She feels gross. She's like someone, invaded her privacy, even though, she could be sitting just at her desk. And there was pictures of her just sitting there. Like she didn't know how to kind of collect her emotions from it.
In a statement, Jefferson School District Superintendent said there is a lot of misinformation about this situation. Last October, police investigated a student using a phone inappropriately at Jefferson High School, but it wasn't until last month that the police found out those images were AI. A new lawsuit against embattled beagle breeder Ridgeland Farms is asking a judge to apply habeas corpus to the dogs in order to release them. A writ of habeas corpus generally forces law enforcement to justify holding a person. Now, if a judge finds there is no lawful basis for imprisonment, the person is released. Courts in the past, though, have shied away from applying the concept to animals, ruling that animals are personal property.
Authorities in Arizona are calling the home of Today Show anchor Savannah Guthrie's mother a crime scene. Authorities say Nancy Guthrie was last seen at home Saturday night about 9:30. A homicide team is in on the case now. The FBI also assisting. The Pima County Sheriff says Guthrie did not wander off, adding she does not suffer from dementia and is, quote, as sharp as a tack. The 5-year-old Minnesota boy taken with his father by immigration officials to a Texas detention facility is back home now. A judge ordered Liam Ramos and his father to be released from a detainment facility in Texas. The Trump administration plans to appeal, claiming the father entered the country illegally, but according to the family's lawyers, he has a pending asylum claim.
President Trump is urging House members on both sides of the aisle to pass the Senate-approved funding package as soon as possible. The bill separates out the Department of Homeland Security and provides 2 weeks of funding so lawmakers can negotiate reforms to ICE. However, some House Democrats have signaled that they will vote against this funding package.
I refuse to fund such a lawless, out-of-control agency. I will not vote for business as usual.
Meanwhile, Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem has announced that the department is deploying body cameras to every officer in the field in Minneapolis, effective immediately.
Today, state Democrats in Wisconsin introduced a new bill to legalize and regulate cannabis. Now, under the proposal, cannabis would be legal for adult use for both recreational and medical purposes, with clear guidelines for production, testing, and retail sales that would help to keep the state's hemp industry afloat. After last November's federal government funding bill closed a loophole allowing businesses to sell THC-derived products.
Legalizing cannabis gives these same Wisconsin businesses a lifeline, allowing them to transition from hemp-derived THC to cannabis-derived THC and keep jobs, investments, and innovation right here in our home state.
Now, according to the Legislative Fiscal Bureau, Wisconsin would raise nearly $300 million annually once the market is fully up and running.
A local nonprofit is launching a new project to celebrate Madison's history. July marks the 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence. And so to coincide with that celebration, Whose Land is partnering with the Madison Public Library to build a collective history of Greater Madison. Anyone can participate and share their own stories about specific locations like their home or a former work site using Whose Land's digital story map platform.
We're hoping that as people do their own histories, their own kind of passion projects, that in the process of doing it, they will also learn about the Black history of certain neighborhoods that used to be here, the Indigenous history, etc.
And in July, the archives will be brought to life in a series of events called Make History Madison, all in conjunction with local 250th celebrations.
The first round of voting for this year Madison Magazine's Best of Madison is now underway. Through the entire month of February, you can nominate any person, place, or thing to do in a wide variety of categories. Doesn't have to be in Madison either. Nominees can be from around Dane County and also surrounding counties like Dodge, Rock, Columbia, and more. This round is write-in only, and you can vote once per day in each category per valid email address. You can also buy tickets to the Best of Business Luncheon through our website, channel3000.com. Next at 10, Alex is back to tell us how chilly our temperatures will get this week.
And sextortion cases are on the rise in Wisconsin. How a new state law is protecting children from online predators when we come back.
You're watching News 3 Now at 10.
Parents and families take note. Sextortion cases targeting Wisconsin children are rising, nearly quadrupling in just the past 2 years. And now a newly signed state law is aimed at protecting children from these online threats.
And it's time for Kids Report with SSM Health. News 3 Now's Kyrian Lee shows us how the Wisconsin Department of Justice is sounding the alarm They're explaining how these online predators operate, who is most at risk, and what families can do to protect their children.
This could happen to any child.
Online predators are reaching children where they spend the most time, from social media to online games and messaging apps. Among many tactics, sextortion is taking center stage.
Sextortion is really an extremely dangerous and risky area for children.
A report from the Wisconsin Department of Justice says the Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force received over 650 sextortion-related cyber tips in 2025. That's compared to about 230 in 2024 and 170 in 2023. This doesn't include reports to law enforcement.
Companies are detecting it better now, but also there's a lot more self-reporting. So victims and parents and guardians are also reporting those to the cyber tip line, which is very helpful for us.
Jesse Crow, special agent in charge at the state DOJ, says unlike other forms of online exploitation, sextortion targeting teens is primarily a financial crime rather than a sexual one.
They're friended by a person that they think is a similar age. They switch to another platform usually to communicate. Once on that platform, the suspect sends images and says, now it's your turn. The child then sends images back or some form of those images. And then within a minute or two, it switches into very, very high pressure sales of sextortion, telling them that they're going to be a sex offender, that they're going to be arrested by the FBI, that they have to pay this money.
Crow says boys aged 13 to 17 are primary targets. Jessica Catano, Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force Program Supervisor, says that perpetrators are developing new tactics using emerging technology.
There's other ways through AI and different techniques that these offenders are using to target the children. So a child may not even send an image, and this could be happening to them. So we really have to talk to them about it and just make sure they know if it happens to them or somebody they know, they need to come to us for help.
While sextortion represents a small fraction of total cyber tips, Crow says the consequences can be devastating for young victims and their families.
Most suicides in these types of cases occur within 8 hours. And so it's very important to get them resources to know that they are victims of crimes, to know that there is help out there.
The state is taking action. On December 8th, Governor Tony Evers signed Braden's Law, making sextortion a felony. The law is named after 15-year-old Braden Bone from Cronenwetter, who took his own life in March 2025 after falling victim to a sextortion scam. If the crime leads to a victim's suicide, offenders can face a Class B felony with penalties of up to 60 years in prison. The law also allows victims' families to seek compensation through the State Crime Victim Compensation Fund. But even with stronger penalties, Crow says enforcement remains challenging because many sextortion schemes originate overseas.
Nigeria, Ivory Coast, Philippines, and India a little bit right now. Those are the main areas where the suspects are.
The DOJ works with federal partners like the FBI and Homeland Security to investigate suspects abroad. For parents, guardians, and trusted adults, here's what you can do. The DOJ and SSM Health child psychiatrists say the best protection starts with open communication. Kids are more likely to report sextortion when they know they won't get in trouble. And the DOJ ensures they won't in these cases.
So stop communication, block them on the platform, and report them is really important. And then please get some help. Please tell a trusted adult.
After stopping communication, report and block the account, but do not delete messages or profiles to preserve potential evidence. Then report the crime to law enforcement or cybertipline.com. To help the growing problem, the Wisconsin DOJ is expanding its statewide anti-sextortion campaign.
The best thing we can tell parents is to stay engaged, know what your children are doing online, and be sure to create that safe space where children can come to you if something does happen.
The campaign now includes free safety posters and wallet-sized resource cards explaining sextortion and where to get help. The DOJ also provides schools and communities with free online safety lessons through NetSmarts. They also work with more than 335 ICAC affiliate agencies across the state, sharing resources, coordinating with local departments, and supporting cases as they come in. Additionally, they're working toward partnering with physicians to add simple digital safety questions to routine checkups. Reporting in Madison, Kyrian Lee, News 3 Now.
Kyrian, thank you. Now, families should know which apps their kids use, how they work, and who they're talking to.
And resources are available through the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, the Cyber Tip Line, as you saw, local law enforcement, and the Wisconsin Department of Justice.
Now to our forecast. We have finally pulled out of the deep polar plunge. Alex, can we expect any more extremely cold temperatures anytime soon?
Nope, not any, if I can get my words out here, not anytime soon, to answer your question there, Eric. And we have worked our way out of that polar plunge. I'll show you that history that we have made here in just a moment. But just look at these temperatures here as we go through the next 10 days. Besides a 20 and a 23 over the next 2 days, our temperatures are going to be averaging well into the 30s. That's well above normal for this time of year. Now let's take a look at this picture here from the last 2 weeks. March all the way back about 10 days exactly on 123, January 23rd. We were in the depths of that grip of that bitterly cold air mass. We were in that blue area, well below normal, well below average, and we slowly worked our way, followed that yellow line up to today, where our temperatures got into the 20s, and just a 20 and a 23 in the upcoming forecast. And that next yellow line, slowly working our way into the red zone, which means our temperatures are going to be heading into the normal to above average category as we head a little bit further out into the 10 days. Right now, 5 to 10 degrees across southern Wisconsin. A couple 14s, though, sneaking right along the Wisconsin-Illinois border. What's up with that? Some clouds and a couple snow flurries helping to hold up those temperatures tonight. But those clouds clearing out as we go into Tuesday, and we'll see a blue skies day as that sun returns. Temperatures well into the low to mid 20s. A little bit of that snow, Darlington to the Shullsburg area just south of Argyle. Zooming on out here, that's it. Just Lafayette County right now being affected. Maybe a flurry or two left over in Grant County, but any of that little bit of light snow is going to slip to the south and southeast of the area very quickly as we go into the early morning hours of Tuesday. Maybe just enough for a dusting for areas, let's say south and west of that Platteville to Darlington to Monroe line overnight. Then we've got the skies clearing out as we go on into Tuesday. A sunny day, blue skies are expected for much of southern Wisconsin. And what about more snow chances? Now we have those 30s coming, so with temperatures well into the 30s, we got to start also thinking about a couple of raindrops Thursday going on into Friday. And here's a glimpse. I'm going to just widen things out here as you head towards midnight on Friday. A Clipper-like weather system will be moving through the Midwest, and we're going to get clipped just with the tail end of maybe a raindrop or a couple snow flurries or snow showers late Thursday night going into Friday. And that's it. We'll have a cool down day with a few flurries on Friday before those temperatures go right back up into the 30s by the time we get it into Sunday, and then go out into next week. And going beyond that, beyond our 10 days here, not expecting any alert days, that temperature staying seasonal, if not above normal. Let's go all the way out to the middle of February. Look at that. All that red across the center part of the country, including Madison, is suggesting that there is a good chance that our temperatures are going to be above average going all the way out into the middle of February. So maybe Jimmy is on to something today.
I love it.
Melt some of that snow out there.
Snow is going to melt away.
Thanks, Alex.
Yeah.
Well, the Brewers will have a new television and streaming home this year. The team announcing today games will now be produced and distributed by Major League Baseball. Games will be available to in-market fans on cable and satellite TV, as well as online through MLB.tv. Now, they were previously broadcast, you'll recall, on FanDuel Sports Network, whose parent company is facing some serious financial issues. Pitchers and catchers, by the way, next week.
Oh, how exciting is that?
About here.
That gets you going. That really tells you spring is almost here.
Almost here.
Absolutely. Well, we've got more excitement than just that coming in sports. The game that keeps on giving. Former Badger and NBA head coach Stan Van Gundy says one game shows you everything the Badgers can be. Next on News 3 Now.
And now, News 3 Now Sports, brought to you by TDS Telecom.
Layla Edwards grew up dreaming of playing hockey at the University of Wisconsin, but the two-time national champion has done a whole lot more than that. In 2024, in the Women's World Championships, she became the first black female to play hockey for Team USA. And later this week, she'll do the same at the Olympic level.
I look at it as a privilege. I have the opportunity and ability to be that role model for young people of color. When they watch me play, I hope young black girls and athletes of color see an incredible hockey player, but more importantly, an incredible person, leader, and role model.
Our K-Racine will have a full story on the Trailblazer later this week. The captain of Team USA's women's hockey team was announced today, and no surprise here, it's former Badger Hillary Knight, whose 5th Olympic Games will be her last. The Badger great says winning gold is the Stars and Stripes' only focus. Well, the Badgers got another big win under their belt this weekend, but as their NCAA tournament continues to take shape, that stock that they have so much importance in, well, for me, I look back at one win. You can't stop thinking about when they went to Ann Arbor and beat Michigan. I caught up with former Wisconsin men's basketball coach Stan Van Gundy, who says when you see that win, you've seen it all.
I mean, the huge win at Michigan, I think, shows you, I mean, if you look at what Michigan's done this year, if you can beat Michigan, especially on the road, well, then you're certainly capable of beating anybody.
You'll hear more from Stan throughout the week, and you'll see more of this guy for the next decade plus. Jalen Johnson was selected to his first NBA All-Star game last night, and if his name sounds familiar, it should. The former Sun Prairie star continues shining bright. Okay, you got to check this out. This boxer was fighting this past weekend and got more than the wind knocked out of him. Take another look at this. His toupee, or his hairpiece, flies off his head when he gets punched. What you don't see is that he was a really good sport about it. He threw that hairpiece into the stands. His explanation, though, a little bit fishy, if you ask me. He says that his hairpiece, well, he mistakenly used ammonia bleach instead of shampoo on his real hair, so he spent $700 to get that toupee. Now, unlike that toupee, stick around because Alex has a forecast that you're going to have to see to believe next on News 3 Now.
Finally tonight, move over, Alex. I don't really mean that. Today, this is the forecast from a groundhog. This is Punxsutawney Phil. He saw his shadow, predicting 6 more weeks of cold weather, so we don't like him. The seer of seers has been predicting the seasonal forecast 140 years.
Well, he's just terrible, though, at predicting things. The Sun Prairie, though, Jimmy, he begs to differ. He predicted early spring, and Sun Prairie's been hosting this event now for 78 years, and according to NOAA, Jimmy is the one who's more accurate. He has predicted the coming of spring with a 60% level of accuracy. Phil, like I said, just terrible at this. At the bottom of the list, way down there at 35%. I like Sun Prairie's gotten, they've learned. Keep Jimmy in the cage. Don't hold him up by your face. We've seen where that can go.
To you, though. And Alex, we're happy to hear what your forecast is, the scientific one.
And I'm excited to show that our weather, it actually is, maybe Jimmy's got onto something here over the course of the next 10 days. Look at this 10-day forecast. 20s Tuesday and Wednesday. That's about normal for this time of year. Then we got a lot of 30s in the forecast. How about that?
You're a good sport. Gary never would have given any credit to a groundhog. I promise you that. Colbert is next.
Thanks for watching, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a great night.